Hello friends, in this video I am going to talk about a pathogenic bacteria, Rickettsia. Rickettsia are gram-negative pleomorphic bacteria. They are obligatory parasites. They have two hosts. Primary hosts are arthropod vectors such as fleas, ticks, mites or lice. Secondary host is human being. Via these arthropod vectors, Rickettsia enter in human body. As soon as it enters inside the human body, it escapes the phagocytic mechanism and starts multiplying by binary fission. Then it enters into bloodstream and start affecting the endothelial cells of blood vessels, leads to the lysis of blood vessel endothelial cells, causing inflammation of blood vessels known as vasculitis. Let's see the general characteristic of Rickettsia. Rickettsia also shows wall toxicity. Rickettsia lacks glycolysis glycolytic pathways. Instead of using glucose as their source of energy, they are using glutamate and succinate as their source of energy. In their plasma membrane, they have carrier-mediated transport system, by using which they used to take ready-made nutrients from the host. In their plasma membrane, they also have adenylate exchange carrier, with the help of which they exchanges ADP for ATP. Let's see different diseases associated with Rickettsia. First disease is Rocky Mountain spotted fever. This disease is associated in Rocky Mountain area. That's why it is known as Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Causative agent of this disease is Rickettsia rickettsii. Vectors which transfer this species into human body are wood tick, that is Dermocenter andersoni, dog tick, that is Dermocenter variabilis. Unlike other rickettsias, Rickettsia rickettsii also shows transovarian passage. That is, it gets transferred from these arthropod vectors generation to generation via eggs also. After coming in contact with human body, these arthropod vectors such as wood tick, they releases lot of Rickettsia in their fecal matter, which gets deposited on the body, which subsequently gets rubbed or scratched into the skin. Once inside the skin, it enters the endothelial cells of small blood vessels, where they multiply and produce a characteristic vasculitis. Symptoms associated with this disease is sudden onset of headache, high fever, chills, rash on the skin. First it appears on ankles and wrist, and then it spreads to the trunk of the body. This is the image of a patient suffering from Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Rash can be seen on his body. If this disease is not treated, Rickettsia can further cause destruction of blood vessels of heart, lungs or kidney, that eventually leads to the death of the patient. Treatment for this disease is available in the form of antibiotics such as chloramphenicol and tetracycline. Second disease is epidemic typhus, which is louse-borne. Causative agent is Rickettsia prowazekii. An arthropod vector is body louse. When louse feeds on an infected rickettsiomic person, the Rickettsia infect the insect's gut first, multiply there, and then they start appearing in their fecal matter. When such infected louse takes blood meal, it transfers the Rickettsia into the human body. Rickettsia then via bloodstream reaches to the endothelial cells, where they damages endothelial cells of blood vessels, causing inflammation of blood vessels known as vasculitis. Again, symptoms observed are headache, fever, muscle ache. Rash also starts coming on upper trunk and it spreads. Mortality of this disease is high, which is around 50%, especially it is more in elderly people. And third rickettsial disease is endemic typhus, which is also called as murine typhus. Causative agent is Rickettsia typhi. Arthropod vector which transfer this rickettsia into human body are rat fleas, Xenopsilla keopi. The disease is actually non-fatal for rat, and they get transmitted from rat to rat by these fleas. When such rat fleas come in contact with human body during taking human blood meal, it enters into the human body, where it enters into bloodstream and again shows vasculitis. The mortality rate of this disease is less compared to others. It is 5%. Now let's see the diagnostic test which is used for rickettsia. The test which was commonly used in ancient time is known as Well-Felix test, which is actually a non-specific agglutination test, which specifically designed to detect the anti-rickettsial antibodies in the patient's serum. In this test, antigen which is used, instead of using actual rickettsial antigen, Proteus species antigens are used. And patients suffering from rickettsial infection will have antibodies in their serum that will interact with Proteus antigen and gives agglutination, indicates test is positive. Nowadays, other modified diagnostic tests are available, such as complement fixation test, ELISA and all. Thank you very much.